Hello, my name's Bond, Richard Bond, and this is Curmudgeonly Yours, a show on Society Bites Radio, part of the Radio Ear Network family, supplying social interaction for the mind and soul. The introductory and concluding music to this show is La Polonaise by Wieniawski, played by Max Bond. I am your host and curmudgeon, where everything is what it seems. Nothing is what it seems. And what is not said is often of most interest. Today, my guest is Larry Underwood on Curmudgeonly Yours, and we are going to talk about technology, especially Apple technology and, quote, the Apple world. For me, Mr. Underwood is Mr. Apple. Hi, Larry.
Hello.
Thanks for being on Curmudgeonly Yours on Society Bites Radio. Larry Underwood has been involved with the IT world since 2003. He is a Microsoft certified IT professional and an Apple certified associate. Larry has done network design and implementation, as well as cross-platform systems integration for several large organizations. Larry is currently a bi-vocational pastor that helps people learn the ever-changing Apple ecosystem. Larry Underwood, I've known you for about a year now through your company, Computer Advantage, and I find you to be an excellent teacher and presenter of Apple computer technology. I really do. Could you talk to us about how you started in the business of computer technology?
Well, it's interesting. My degree is in education, which is why I love teaching. But a long time ago, like over 20 years ago, somebody that saw me managing a retail store actually approached me about starting an IT consultant firm with a retail side for him. I said yes, and that was very, very successful. But in the process, I learned a lot about IT. And because IT is very certification friendly, I started taking some IT tests just to help me learn it and manage those stores better. And it panned out in the long run. I was able to actually work in the IT industry for several years.
Wow, I thought you would have had BA and MA in computer science or something. But that's
Nope.
Great. No, that's
just good. Certifications, yes.
Well, Larry, it seems like there is so little time. There are 168 hours in a week and so much to do. There seems to be so much red tape nowadays, obligatory text messages, phone calls, chores, housework, questionnaires to fill out after every service call or purchase online, junk mail, forms to fill out. I call this human maintenance. That's just my term. And it takes away from the quality of life. Computers are supposed to help, and they really do, I think. But one can do bills online now and eliminate most types of paper mail. But ironically, the more technology improves, the more types of security one has to go through and the more complicated things become. In addition, computer tech takes a lot of time to learn unless one is like you and understands it easily. How about your thoughts on all of this?
Well, I think the back end of all technology seems more complicated than the user side. So like for me, the end user, most of these companies are trying to make it easy. They're trying to make it simple. I think Apple may do the best job at making it really, really simple. Yeah. But Google and even Microsoft with Windows, they've gone a long way towards trying to make things easy for people to do. The main thing I try to steer people towards is just overcoming their fear of breaking something or messing something up, because it's almost impossible to ruin something if you're halfway careful. But it is important to take a little bit of time, once or twice a month, to learn what's new and what's changing, because every single month something is changing.
Right, and it's the vocabulary I find sometimes difficult to understand. Just the understanding the words that are used in engineering and computer science.
Absolutely, it is. If some people in particular would stay away from lingo and try to figure out what they actually need to do, it would probably help them out a lot. For most people, if they figure out what they need technology for, because about half of it's just entertainment and about half of it's actual work and productivity. And on the productivity side, there are easy ways to do a lot of things. Yeah, it's just a matter of figuring out what you need to do.
Yeah, and then some people like to complicate things in their mind. They sometimes they don't see the simple, they see the complication.
Yep, that's the fear of taking over. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I have heard, Larry, that I've heard rumors that big tech giants like Bill Gates don't allow their children to spend a lot of time on their techno gadgets. There's a lot of literature on how too much tech time is playing havoc with our children's minds. What is your take on all this?
Well, everything has some benefit in moderation. Technology is the same. I think on the entertainment side, stuff like Netflix and live TV and Apple TV and streaming all these shows, and like Disney just came out with their own streaming service, and there's a lot of games available online, and most of these are driven by ad revenue, and so spending a lot of time there can be problematic, I guess. It's just too addictive, and the battle really for your family entertainment dollars has gotten a little bit out of hand. I think the ability to draw a line between entertainment and productivity, and as you're looking at how much time you're spending, especially in front of a screen, or your kids are spending in front of a screen, if you can make sure that more of it is educational and more of it is, for school or for a purpose like that, and you really have to limit the game times.
Mm.
Some people, if you think an hour's okay, maybe you should limit it to 30 minutes.
Right. Well, I just get these weekly reports. I spend 5 hours a day on my cell phone. Not phoning, of course, but looking at stuff online and messages and all of that. And uh, and
Absolutely.
and I'm not. I think I'm fairly normal. 5 hours a day is about normal for what people do today.
Yeah,
So
unfortunately, it's become a lot closer to normal. A lot of people, when they wake up, the phone is the first thing in their hands, and they really become glued to that device.
mm, yeah. I
You,
mean,
I,
I've gone from 3 hours a day to 5 hours a day just in the last year.
yep, I recommend on Apple in particular, they have an app for screen time that monitors it. That's probably how you know you're spending 5 hours, but
That's
it'll
right.
break it down into what you're spending time on. I would
Oh,
open that app, set some limits on a few things, and even removing some apps from my phone actually helped me decrease my phone time. Um,
mm,
Facebook is a prime example. If you remove Facebook from your phone so that you only are on Facebook when you are at your computer, it will
sure.
limit your Facebook time tremendously. You'll save 45 minutes to an hour a day or more.
Oh, I didn't know that. I usually just go FaceTime on the computer, but does it take more energy, I guess, or when you have all of these apps on your phone?
If they're all running at the same time, maybe, but the technology's come so far so fast that it's usually not a battery issue.
Mm, right. Okay. Um, Larry Underwood, it seems that your job is explaining how Apple technology can make life easier for people. Am I right? And do you like your job?
Absolutely. I love teaching technology to people, Apple technology in particular. Most people don't even know what is possible until they see it happen. I'll use the example of, just scanning some medical receipts to send to the insurance company.
Mm,
Even a year or so ago, you would have to be at a scanner and scan those in and get them on your computer and then find them and email them in. Or
yeah.
some people were even mailing them in through the post office.
Yeah.
Um, but now it is incredibly easy to scan directly from your iPad or your iPhone. It turns it into a PDF that's very, very readable. And you can hit one button and email it to your insurance company. Or most modern websites have a little button. Once that file is on your device, you just click upload and it sends it right to them. So you can literally do stuff that you used to have to sit down and dedicate several minutes to in 20 to 30 seconds. So
Yeah.
it's really
Well,
nice.
you sort of have to practice all of that, but once you do, it makes it much better. Um,
Exactly.
and um, the Princeton Review, Larry, says that the number one career choice for college students today is computer science. Okay, it's ahead of business and other things. What did you study? Well, yeah, I guess you already told us, but maybe go into it a bit more. What did you study in college, and would you recommend computer science as a good college major today?
Computer science is definitely not a bad major by any stretch of the imagination. I studied music education actually, and because the IT field is very specialized, once you get in, um, even with a degree in computer science, for instance, what you'll find to have particular jobs, you're still going to be going down a certification track. So there's like Cisco networking, or there's Novell networks, or there's networks that are heavily Microsoft, and there will be specific certifications in those fields for either the networking or the security or for the firewall. So if you are interested in IT, think of the CS degree, your computer science degree, almost like a very basic business degree.
Oh, really?
So it's just a good foundation, but it doesn't get you down the road, because honestly, everything you learn in college for IT today is obsolete in 5 years.
So you're saying maybe get another degree in something else, business or psychology or education like you did, and then do computer science on the side as almost like a minor, I guess, huh?
Almost every systems administrator and network administrator that I've worked at or with did not have a CS degree. Their degree was in something else, even just people with basic business degrees. I worked for a network administrator one time at a newspaper up in Georgia, and his master's degree was in business, but he had, certifications in numerous things that he needed to do his job in the IT world, and it worked out great for him. So the degree is important, but it doesn't necessarily have to be in IT as long as you're pretty sharp and willing to get those certifications knocked out.
Got it. Got it. Okay. What about getting a master's or a doctorate in computer science? I guess it can't be obsolete. Or I guess that would be obsolete too once you get through that, right?
Well, it's almost like everything. There's continuing education and ways to kind of stay in the game, so to speak. I would say if you want to teach somewhere, yeah, definitely go on, get the master's degree, and stay on top of things, because
Sure.
some of these education institutions, like your MITs, even your tech schools, if your degree is actually in that, you're at the head of the class as far as teaching and things of that nature.
Well, that's interesting. I can go on to my next point, and that's about college. Let's talk about college for a minute. There's the age-old debate about whether a university is just a job training center. That's what my son believes, for future work. And oh, by the way, he's 17. He thinks it's a job training center for future work, or whether the college or university is mostly an institute of higher learning that may or may not serve as a platform for a future job, in the sense that you learn how to read and write and do math and all of those things so you can think better, philosophy. Well, what are your thoughts? Is it more of an institute of higher learning just to improve yourself, learn more, or is it like a job training center?
Yeah, I definitely lean towards the Institute of Higher Learning side. I think that kind of underscores the point we're halfway making, that a degree is a good thing, but to work in most fields, especially IT type stuff, ongoing education and certification is absolutely where it's at. So even if you had a degree in something really ridiculous like underwater basket weaving or art or pottery or something, you can easily get into IT simply by learning it, studying it, and taking these certification tests. Some of these tests are as inexpensive as $250. Some of them are a little bit more expensive. And usually the track to study for that test can be 4 to 6 weeks, depending on how quick you are at studying and how good you are at taking tests.
And now, can you do that from your home, or from your computer, or do you have to go into a center to do those?
A lot of them require that you go to a Pearson, testing center, but